Give me a... Yeah, but give me like a laugh or something louder.
All right, and now we're back with 137 again.
All right, let me try it again.
Now we're back with episode 138 minus 1.
I want to leave that in with like just a weird pause. People don't understand why.
Cut it and throw it right at the beginning.
All right. I suppose we should start a podcast.
Maybe. Welcome back.
We Were Gamers, a podcast. Thank you, Michael. It's the new year when people hear this, and this is Andrew.
This is Michael.
And we're one light for, I think this is the last episode.
I believe so.
So hopefully we get a little supervision here soon, because I think that we've just taken this thing way off the rails.
We've been in vacation mode for too long. Yes,
it's true. There hasn't been enough work to go around for people to be, focused, I think. When you have a lot to do, you get more focused. And,
Yep.
we played the games 2 weeks ago, and then we were just talking about our favorite experience of that year. And really, there's just a meandering mess, welcome back. 137, but the first one of 2019. And we're just going to start out with follow us on social media. There's going to be a lot more or more places to follow us. We're going to add some stuff to YouTube this year, /WeWereGamers, youtube.com/WeWereGamers. All the old episodes will be on there, as well as new episodes. And I think that it's safe to assume that when we do the next Portal, or if we do another playthrough of another game with the three of us or something like that, that should provide us with some video. I'm a little hesitant to say we're going to get on Twitch, but we probably will try late in the year.
One thing at a time.
Yeah, let's get like the video part working on a non-live basis. And then, we're doing this on our spare time. There's not a lot of time for research. It's usually before the pod. So
we're still working on smoothly walking. Don't need to strap on the jetpack just yet.
Okay, so we said we're going to do some YouTube so people can listen if they have that YouTube Red, and they don't like podcasting apps.
Yep.
I'm not advertising for YouTube Red. I want to be very clear. I'm not sure that I see value in it, but a lot of people do watch those shows and stuff. So if they have those, they can listen to us with turning their screen off and stuff like that. And Twitter.com, not the other one yet, /WeWereGamers, and Facebook.com/WeWereGamers, podcast @WeWereGamers.
An email address.
That's right, .com. You have to put .com at the end of that because it's an email address. All those things are awesome places that we are available to you.
Did you say Instagram? There's Instagram.
That's true. There is Instagram. We should really do more Instagramming. There'll probably be some pictures of some computer parts up there soon-ish. Yeah, I'm just going to commit to that. And also, we're going to release our little sub-pod. It's on the main feed for Star Trek. I'm pretty sure it's going to be monthly. We've got a couple in the can that are ready to go, so we're ready on that one. We have to record it in our spare time.
We have so much of that.
I know, I can tell, right? So there you go. That's a little preview of We Were Gamers 2019. I'm gonna come out of the gate with saying that I've also followed some We Were Gamers advice for 2019.
Okay.
We gave advice last episode. Kind of. Not really. But you said Into the Breach was your experience of 2018 in gaming.
And I might have fired it up again for a round or two after we recorded.
And my experience for We Were Gamers in gaming last year was getting a Switch. I thought that just like the experience of playing on that thing was awesome.
Did you combine both of our experiences? Is that where this is going?
I told people to do that, and so I couldn't tell people to do that and also not own a copy of Into the Breach.
Well, there you go.
It was on and is currently on winter sale on the Nintendo eShop for $10. I had a few gold coins from some other games. So, it was a little less than $10. I have Into the Breach on this thing. It's ready to go for 2019.
Yeah, nice. I was going to say, have you put down Smash for long enough to try it out yet, or is it in the pending column?
Here's the thing. I have a sincere love of tactics games, right? I mean, I got taken by Mario and Rabbids. Battletech took me for 140 hours. If you put some sort of tablet and or other device in front of me with Final Fantasy Tactics on it, I'm going to get lost for a few hours. There's nothing I can do about it. If I start Into the Breach, a game that sounds like you two loved perfectly and I have stayed away from because it seems like my perfect strategy game. All the information you need is there at the beginning of every round, right? Like
yeah, for the most part.
Right, I know there's some random,
a little bit of random movement, but other than that.
But, it's a puzzle game mostly. Maybe is fair to say, or no?
Yeah, it's a puzzle game with. We've talked about this in a previous episode, but it's just a puzzle game with a very steep learning curve that starts over every time you switch to a different set of mechs.
So if I start that, I'm just gonna put down Smash, and I feel like Smash requires muscle memory.
Mm-hmm.
To stay good at and be able to pick back up later. Seems like I would be in trouble since I'm starting to hit the harder part of World of Light, which is for people that don't know, Smash has a RPG built into it called World of Light, and I'm starting to hit the harder part of that with harder spirits around every corner. And I feel like if I pick up into I'm still probably going to do it. I just haven't talked myself into it yet. It's there. It's ready. It's all downloaded and good to go. So, We Were Gamers 2019, man. It's going to be awesome.
Yeah. It's not even 2019 for me, and my plans have already been derailed.
Uh-oh.
I picked up Dead Cells on the Steam winter sale.
Yay!
And figured I'd fire that up after JJ's glowing recommendation, and got just completely dragged down into it.
Did it disappoint?
Not in the least.
I kind of figured that would be the answer, but it had to be asked in true journalism fashion.
Yeah, it's a great combination of Metroidvania platforming and collection and just enough procedurally generated dungeons to keep the runs interesting.
Huh. All right.
And just a good mix of humor from the writers. There's not a ton in the way of story, but the little bits of writing that there are well done, and will definitely, you'll find a little piece of text that'll keep you chuckling through the game.
I heard a good amount about Dead Cells listening to a couple different podcasts about, the best games of 2018. You know how it takes. This is why we don't do the best games of 2018. I feel that it is a completely unfair category because you can't play every game that came out in 2018. And while you can probably look at a bunch of them and be like, nope, that one's not going to be the best game of 2018. It just comes down to your experience, right? So many people thought Red Dead's the best game of 2018. I didn't play it. So how can I have to trust that you, it's a lot of ask to say that what the best game is, and then you combine 8 people and they all have different play experiences and styles, and that's how you get through all the games of 2018. But anyway, that's why we don't do that. But Dead Cells was talked about a lot in the 2018. I know it came out a long time ago, but I think it exited early access last year.
Yes. And there are plans to
continue expanding.
There are plans to continue expanding it, which the way that the game is built, I think, would make it very easy. There are branching pathways that sort of weave in and out of each other as you make your way through each successive area. And I think they could very easily just sort of, because of the nature of the procedural generation, just tack on more areas.
And that's cool. And they also seem like they're reimagining a lot of stuff. Not just like, oh, we're going to keep adding bosses and areas and stuff like that, but they're going to change no more cooldown timer, like adjustments and things like that.
Yeah, and they've already made some of those adjustments as I understand it. You know, I was looking at the community page on Steam, and there are a bunch of posts from people who had to go back and update them as outdated because the advice in some of their posts was patched out.
You just can't do this anymore
in an earlier version.
Sure. That's cool. I mean, it keeps people coming back, hopefully. I don't know. I hope that people listen to our recommendation, because Into the Breach is awesome. Hearing you guys talk about it, the Switch is awesome. And I want to be clear that I don't dislike people's like best of 2018 lists. I've listened to a lot of hours of people talking about the games in 2018, and I quite enjoy that. And it got me to go out and buy Donut County, actually, which I'll talk about probably next week when I have time to play it, because it's a quick game and it's an iOS game, so it'll be on my phone. I'll try it out, you know, when I have a little extra time.
I saw that one. I'm intrigued to hear your thoughts.
Yeah, it just hit the Switch too, but it's much cheaper on iOS, and I think it's on Steam. Might even be on sale.
Yeah, that's where I saw it.
I can't spell donut, apparently. So that's a good thing. Yeah, it's 25% off. It's like $9. I think it was $6 on iOS, because why not?
Yeah.
So those are valuable things. I think that we are not qualified to say what the best game was. I think we just have to say what we liked.
It's all we can do.
It's more than we can do. We did a great job. Those are great recommendations. I think though that today we're still sans. I feel like we're missing a part of us. So we can preview some stuff, I think, but I can't get too deep on like games and stuff without our better third. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
But 2019's coming fast, and there's a lot of games happening, and even this month there's a lot of things happening. So,
yeah.
Do you want to take games or games?
I'll take games for 400 Alex.
What is Games Done Quick?
Games Done Quick is...
No, that's already... You don't play Jeopardy, do you?
Sorry, I didn't realize you were continuing that joke.
Just kidding. Games Done Quick is coming.
Games Done Quick is coming.
What are the dates on that? Let's see.
It starts on Sunday the 6th and runs through the following Saturday the 12th.
Before our next podcast, but after our next podcast.
Yeah, so we will podcast right after, like on day 2.
Right.
We will record our next episode. So.
I know that there's a lot of hullabaloo sometimes in the community about who and what, and a lot of stuff behind the scenes. I think, though, that the immense amount of money for charity and things like that allow for them to continue trying to do better at things. I just want to get that out of the way up front. This is run by a community of people, and communities of people often do not see eye to eye on things as they expand. You know what I mean?
Yeah. But I think that they're generally marching in the right direction.
Generally, I would say that is correct. And it's still worth noting the immense benefit, millions of dollars a year that people are participating and giving to charity. And so I'm amped because I like watching people run games. And they're going to start out with Hollow Knight right at the beginning?
Yeah, right off the bat. So we should...
Does that say 15 minutes?
So that's the setup time.
Oh, okay.
We should back up for people who haven't listened to one of our AGDQ episodes.
That's true. It might be 2019 and people have said, we're going to go listen to a new podcast. Welcome if you're listening to a new podcast. Because that's your New Year's resolution, is to do something where you need audio and you need entertainment, and podcast is the way to do it. I appreciate you, because that's probably my resolutions as well. AGDQ or SGDQ, same thing.
Yeah, Games Done Quick. They are a pair of speedrunning marathons, video game speedrunning marathons that are used to raise money for charity.
Yes. Thank you, Michael, for keeping this a good podcast.
They tend to do Doctors Without Borders for one of them. And then the other one, I think they sometimes mix it up.
It's been Prevent Cancer for the last couple of years.
Okay, yeah. So they've done Prevent Cancer. The last couple of marathons have raised in the range of like $1.5 to $2.25 million over the course of the week. Mm-hmm. So it's become a pretty big deal for, just streaming a bunch of people playing their way through video games as fast as they can.
In a basement of a hotel.
Yeah, breaking them wide open.
Yeah. They used to get videos from Doctors Without Borders, and now, they get representatives on stage talking about things like that. So it's become quite a big deal, I think, in those two charity communities. And come on, the entertainment value is insane.
Oh, it's off the charts. But what we were talking about, they publish the schedule ahead of time.
They do.
So you can plan out some of your favorites. You can pick some games that maybe you've heard of but never seen before, and just want to see someone, bash their way through them in a half an hour.
I can't believe this starting list. This is insane. Okay, so it's Hollow Knight, an hour and a half, 30 minutes of Kirby, 40 minutes of Donkey Kong Country, SNES version.
Yep.
Mario Kart DS. I've never even seen that speedrun.
I have not either.
Serious Sam, Mega Man 02. Ooh, Majora's Mask, any percent on the Wii Virtual Console. All right.
Yep.
Portal.
As a race.
As an inbounds race. They can't glitch out of bounds.
They can't glitch out, but look at the time on it.
15 minutes. 15 minutes.
Yeah.
Wow. Metal Gear Solid 2. Great. Shadow of Colossus, God of War 2, Bomberman 64. I don't know this next. Oh, yes, I do. FE. I think it's Fee. I don't remember.
I saw it.
It's a PC game, I think.
Mm-hmm.
And then it goes over overnight where the quiet games come.
Yep.
Wow. What an amazing list.
Yeah,
look at this Vector Man. Vector Man.
Yeah, and right before that, Echo the Tides of Time.
Echo the Tides of Time and Echo Man. I might have to get up at 4 a.m. on what is that, Monday? Oh,
That's
no.
Monday morning.
Monday morning when the kids are going back to school. Ooh. And the wife goes back to work and I got to get up at 4. I think might be the first time that I've always watched live. I've never done the VODs.
Mm-hmm.
Except for when I've fallen asleep during a run, I guess I've done one VOD for that.
Sure.
But this Vector Man one will get me to look it up. And Earthworm Jim 2. That'll get me too.
Yep. Yeah, so I'll give a shout out on JJ's behalf. Mid-morning on Monday is the Castlevania block.
1, 2, 3, 4, 5-ish.
If you count Bloodstain.
I count Bloodstain, so it's 5.
But yeah, Symphony of the Night, Aria of Sorrow, Castlevania Chronicles, and Castlevania 2 Simon's Quest, all back-to-back.
Followed by Bloodstained a half hour later. Wow, and that half hour is interesting. That sounds to me like a bonus run.
Sometimes it is. They build in setup blocks into the schedule, in part just to allow some accordioning in the run times, in part because they'll set up systems for the next group of runners.
Man, look at this. Donkey Kong Country Tropical Freeze on the Switch. Crash Bandicoot Insane Trilogy, Splatoon 2, Resident Evil, Silent Hill, Tomb Raider 2. These are crazy games. This is
it keeps going and going. There's a great Mega Man block. There's a Mega Man X 1 through 3 team relay race.
Oh wow.
That'll be fun. Those Mega Man races are always good.
Yeah.
Looking ahead, there's what did I see? Oh, there's a Final Fantasy 9 run on Friday night.
Wow.
If you have 9.5 hours.
Any percent takes 9.5 hours.
It is a long game.
Wow. They end on Super Metroid this year in reverse boss order.
Yep. Yeah, so there will be the Save the Animals, Kill the Animals donation incentive.
All week. That's nuts. It's never gone that long.
It'll be going all week. It's been a while since they've ended the run with Super Metroid.
And right before that is Super Mario Odyssey. That'll get me to watch for sure.
Yep. Earlier in that same day, Dark Souls 3 and Link to the Past.
Whew.
And the Link to the Past is a low percent one-hit KO run.
Whew. Diablo 2 earlier. They think is going to be done in 2 hours. Wow. Dead Cells, any percent, 20 minutes.
Mm-hmm.
This is an amazing list. Metal Gear SNES, or Metal Gear NES. Metal Gear 2 Solid Snake. Wow.
Oh, there you go. So, Thursday night is... After Dead Cells is Celeste, followed by 100% Wind Waker run.
How many hours is that? Let's see.
6.
6 hours. Whoa.
That's impressive. To 100% Wind Waker in 6 hours?
That's got to be just like FF9. That seems to me like a team. Yeah, see, Yellow Bee, Mr. Game, and Shout. And the other one is Patty and Kung Fu Fruit Cup. Those are great names. And I can't imagine how it would... I'm sure one person will play, but it's definitely... wow. Gotta be a lot of work.
Yeah.
Super Mario RPG on Tuesday night on SNES for 3 hours. That's gotta be good, right? Wow.
That's a great game.
Yeah. Good job, GDQ. What a list. What a list. That's preview number 1. You said you wanted to preview games before you previewed games.
So, yeah, we got some games for you, so we got some more games for you.
What is 2019's year in releases?
Oh, there's so much. I don't know. Well, I know where to start because I wanted to touch on this a little bit last week.
Okay.
Save it till we did the look ahead.
Okay. We're looking ahead. We can't look at all the games. None of us have Xbox Ones, and none of us look to be getting Xbox Ones. And this is why we're not going to be like, oh, we know the best games, right? Because we don't play that system. So I'm not going to preview any of those. Are you? Probably not, right?
Well, the one I'm about to talk about is coming for Xbox One in addition to PC.
Gears of War 5.
Not quite.
Okay. Also, Gears of War 5 is coming to PC. Just that's nuts to me. I really kind of hope that means the other Gears are headed to PC also.
Just backfill.
Yeah, I would replay Gears 1 through 3. They were good enough. If they were available. I think if we've learned anything from some of the news coming out of Smash lately, it is that people will buy a game to backfill storyline to play another game. Yes, that's true. Yeah, yes, it's true. Nice. Okay, well, if it's not Gears 5 and it's on Xbox One and PC, but not other systems?
No, just those two. At least for now.
Wow, I don't know. What is it?
Ori and the Will of the Wisps.
What? What?
Yes.
They got the exclusive, huh?
I guess so. Or it's a partnership with Microsoft.
Good on them.
Yeah.
Awesome.
So yeah,
direct sequel
to the first game. It looks to be.
Okay.
It definitely takes you back into the forest that you were in the first game, and introduces you to some new areas. There's not a ton of detail yet about the game. There is a new character that they introduce, a baby owl, it seems to be. But there's not...
Oh my gosh, this owl's so cute!
Yeah, you found the picture.
Oh, it's so cute.
So
I hope that's playable.
Yeah. That would be cool if you could switch back and forth, maybe.
Or the game will probably switch you. I don't know. You know what? I take that back. Who knows? I can't say probably about anything. But that's cool. Right on.
Yeah. So, other than some screens, there was not a whole lot shown for it.
All right.
But just based on the first game, people are very excited.
Nice.
Me included.
Nice. I looked ahead at the 2019 one of the 2019 lists that's out there, and I have a few games that I'm excited about seeing coming to the Switch. I know that I think some Final Fantasies and stuff are coming.
Yep.
But I didn't realize when I was looking at this, I'm just scrolling back through to make sure that I'm right, when I wrote down what I thought was exciting. There's a lot of stuff on here that's PlayStation 4 only. Oh no. Let's see. There's Ghosts of Tsushima, which is from the Sucker Punch people.
Yep.
That looks pretty good. Last of Us 2 is coming. And I really liked Last of Us because I had a PlayStation 3. That's a PlayStation 4 only game. Kingdom Hearts is on maybe PC?
Yes. So that one, I don't think I realized that Kingdom Hearts 3 will be coming to PC.
Yeah, and Xbox One and PlayStation.
Yeah.
Why not Switch is a big question for me there. Unless there's going to be some huge announcement soon. And then there's Ace Combat, which is getting PlayStation 4 exclusive VR missions.
Huh. Okay.
Yeah, which is weird, right? You'd think the PC would also get the VR missions because it's coming to all the platforms except Switch also. But they only made them for PlayStation VR. Although I haven't seen flight sticks for the PlayStation 4 yet, so why the VR headset was kind of weird. But I've loved that Ace Combat series, so I'll probably pick that up on PC. Is PlayStation 4 2019 in? I know that there's backlogs of that too, like Red Dead, I guess people liked quite a bit. God of War is probably on the list for a lot of people. Things you have to play. Uh-oh.
Yeah, they've lined themselves up well.
They're going to have a big 2019. I can't imagine. There's not a huge list of things coming for Switch, and if there are, they don't really know when they're coming, I guess.
Yeah, I'm trying to think of the things that I have seen that are coming for Switch. I mean, there's stuff coming like Metroid Prime 4, but that doesn't have a date yet.
Yeah, true. There's a lot of that. Oh, who knows? Question mark kind of stuff, I'm sure they'll surprise people with new games that no one knew were coming, like Octopath, how it was kind of like a mystery. Then they showed some videos, and all of a sudden it was released. Oh yeah, and then there's that Death Stranding thing too. Kojima's new game is supposed to be due out in 2019 too.
Yeah, that's
maybe.
Right.
But that's the one with Daryl from The Walking Dead. I can't remember his name. He's also in Boondock Saints.
Yeah. His name's gonna escape me now.
I think Mads Mikkelsen is in it too. That guy that played Hannibal for people that watch that TV show. Also the great actor in Rogue One that plays the dad. But that's another PlayStation 4 exclusive. Oh my goodness. Okay, so if I had to pick a game that I'm most excited about that I could play without buying a PlayStation 4, you
All
picked
right.
Ori. I think it's probably Onimusha, which actually comes out this month, which is a re-release of the classic PlayStation 2 game. Looks exactly like that PlayStation 2 game. Looks like it plays exactly like that PlayStation 2 game.
Nice, I guess.
You should watch the video they finally put out of the gameplay.
Okay.
It's a lot more on rails than a modern game. You know,
Okay.
you kind of just walk down sets of paths and you have to fight. You know,
Yeah.
in each of them, very early Resident Evil almost, kind of like a precursor to the Dark Souls genre. I have to buy it out of nostalgia. I will tell people if it's good. Wait till I get it. And then but it's cool that this game's coming because Capcom releasing old games is always a good thing because Capcom's new games other than Mega Man sometimes don't land. That Mega Man 11 was also on a lot of people's lists, by the way.
Yeah.
I can't wait to play that.
The nostalgia factor was high on that one.
Yeah, and it sounded like they changed just enough for people to be like, this is a great old version of this and also a great new version of this.
Yep.
So I'm into that. I like that idea.
Yeah. I know, speaking of things coming this month, and Capcom, they're also dropping that Resident Evil 2 remake.
Yeah, see, that's what I mean. And it gives me hope, you know? It gives me hope that like older PlayStation games and PlayStation 2 games and things that may just be in the backlogs of people's catalogs,
Mm-hmm.
that they look at and they're like, there's enough of a market for this. You know?
Yep.
Somebody somewhere has got to look at that and go, yes, we can re-release that. Like, Ubisoft, where is Jade Cocoon 2? Come on.
Fresh coat of paint.
There's no way that Jade Cocoon 2 you can't find a way to remake that quickly. No, there's definitely a way. I'm being... JJ would be so mad at me saying stuff like that.
Well, speaking of there being a market for things, did you see that the PlayStation Classic already got hit with a major price cut?
No.
Yep, is now $60, down from $100.
PlayStation 4 better have a good New Year next year.
I mean, we talked about that being a kind of a ridiculous price point, given all of the things that were and weren't on the system.
It's absolutely nuts. Nuts. No DualShocks. In theory, they're just setting it up to release a second one because they put all the worst versions of those games on there. Not worst. I shouldn't say worst. That's overly dramatic. But go back and find our episode called Why Not 2. This is one of my favorite ones where for 30 minutes we wonder why the better version of the game isn't on the system and then realize it's because they plan to sell 2 of these. And then they tried to sell them at $100 with no DualShocks. Ugh. With no rumble.
How do you not do your research and see that Nintendo already found the perfect price point for those?
Yes. And when they released the 2 versions of them, they didn't release an SNES and a second SNES with different and better games on it. They released the NES with the best games on it. Then they released the SNES with the best games on it. You know? Make it expandable or something if you want to say, hey, here's the classics, and by the way, there's an expansion port in the back, and next year we're going to sell a thumb drive with all the other ones on it that you plug in, or some kind of announcement, and that's why it's $100 because the thumb drive's 10. I don't know. I'm talking like I understand how any of this stuff works, and I don't. But I do understand that $100 for a PlayStation Classic doesn't work. And, oh, look, shocker of shockers, it didn't work.
Yeah.
Because they're probably sitting on shelves, and every store is like, hey, we can't sell these. $60 might be okay. If you're into the mini classic systems, I definitely think, like, if you have an SNES Classic and a NES Classic and you think those are great, I think that at $60, you should probably go get that PlayStation Classic, especially if you haven't played those games like Metal Gear Solid or Resident Evil or whatever on the like joystickless systems. You should try those and see how fun gaming used to be. Ha!
Yeah.
But seriously, how do you play Metal Gear Solid on that? Because don't they only give you one controller? Spoiler, I guess.
Unsure. Maybe.
I guess maybe you could just plug it into the other port.
Yeah.
When what's his name takes over your thing. Should we preview one last thing before we get out of here for the day?
Yeah, let's do it.
I want to preview. I want to step on the toes directly of the Gate 13 podcast.
Okay.
First, we want to give a shout out to another podcast. Pay it forward a little bit. There's a really great podcast out there called the Gate 13 podcast. If you're into football,
specifically Stanford
Pac-12 football. Pac-12 football.
Pac-12 in general, yeah.
Because they do preview all the Pac-12 games on this podcast.
Yes.
They go in depth into the upcoming Stanford games. Michael, you attended Stanford University.
That I did.
I am married into the Stanford University cult. And we're going to watch a little football game today. We're going to do a little chili cook-off tasting, tailgating, and then watch a bowl game.
Yeah. Yeah, how about that? It's bowl season. We haven't even touched on that yet.
Yeah, fantasy football ended. Fantasy champs 100% on this podcast right now.
Yeah.
When somebody returns, it's going to dilute the fantasy championships by half because he's in 2 leagues.
Oh,
yeah. Terrible. Just kidding. We love you and we miss you.
Come back to us soon.
Yeah, bowl season. We didn't talk about it at all. We could do the fantasy football bowl season minute. Not minute. Yeah. We could do more than a minute. I'm just saying. You know what I mean? Bowl season's been weird and completely predictable. Notre Dame got walked over.
Yeah, with ending their season with a whimper.
And the other game was closer, but Clemson did fine. Or no, was it? Yeah, that was the right lineup, right? Alabama.
Alabama beat Oklahoma.
Oklahoma by a good margin, even though Oklahoma scored.
Yeah.
And then Clemson walked over Notre Dame like no one even showed up.
Yeah, I saw someone say that the CFB should stand for Clemson faces Bama.
Is this the second time they've played?
This is the 4th year in a row
that they've played Clemson places Bama?
Played each other. 3 of them have been in the finals.
Okay, because I
there
thought
was one semifinal game in there.
I knew that it was Bama to 4 title games. Mm-hmm. Wow, shocker! And I forgot about the Clemson thing. Wow. Why do we have this playoff thing? Who cares? Everyone was already watching the Bama Bowl anyway.
Yeah, it's funny because under the BCS we would have had a Clemson Alabama final and a bunch of mad Notre Dame fans, which is basically what we have now.
I mean, can they be mad now that they've watched their team walk into the gates of what was the Valley of Death and they did not make it through the other side? Yeah,
that was just sad.
It was brutal. Absolutely brutal. Anyway, any other bowl game post views that were like worth talking about that we're forgetting?
There was the California TCU Slop Fest.
Oh yeah, that was worse than the actual Cal end of season.
Yeah, that game included 2 teams that play solid defense, Cal and TCU, but have no offensive firepower to speak of. Mm-hmm. They needed overtime to decide a 10-7 game that included, I believe the final tally was 9 interceptions between the 2 teams.
Ugh.
Yeah, so if you like defense and nothing else,
oogly.
This was the game for you.
That's oogly. Not as bad as some of the NFL games this past week. Man.
Oh man, it's
Week 17 is
Week 17 is always just it's YOLO week in the NFL.
It's garbage fire football. Like, where did the Panthers come from? Is it all because
the Panthers came from the fact that the Saints decided to rest not only Drew Brees but Kamara as well,
and their whole defense, I guess.
Yeah, apparently.
With no Christian McCaffrey, right?
No Christian McCaffrey, no Cam Newton,
and they
no Devin Funchess.
Jeez, like who knew?
Yeah.
And wow, some of the other teams like that were actually playing for playoff berths, like the Vikings.
Yep.
What were you doing? You just decided, I don't know, man. I don't know. Well, let's preview this game we're actually going to watch.
All right.
Stanford.
At Pittsburgh. Well, I say at, but Stanford, Pittsburgh
versus
in El Paso.
Pittsburgh. In El Paso.
The Hyundai Sun Bowl. I believe this is the 85th, somewhere thereabouts.
Is it?
Yeah, the Sun Bowl is the second longest running bowl game at this point, behind the Rose Bowl.
Yeah, the Rose Bowl's over 100.
Yeah. I think the other ones are either more recent or have come and gone.
Wow. I did not know that. Yeah, so Pitt is the other team.
Yep, so Pitt was the runner-up in the ACC. They were also handed their tails by Clemson in the ACC title game to finish their season 7-6.
So the preview of that would mean then that they're about as good as Notre Dame, you think, or not?
It's interesting. Pitt has had a weird up and down season. They played Notre Dame and lost to them only by 5 points in a low scoring affair. But they also lost to a UNC team that only won 2 games this season. So who is Pitt? I guess we'll find out.
Stanford does pretty well in bowl games under David Shaw. Overall.
Yes. And Stanford has done a pretty decent job of covering the spread this season. And the line right now is Stanford by 3.5.
Okay. 3.5 means almost it's a toss-up, though. No, 3.5. 3.5's outside toss-up.
On a neutral field is...
outside toss-up, yeah.
Yeah.
Interesting. Let's see. No starters resting for Stanford except for Bryce Love.
Bryce Love and Nate Herbig, who is also declared for the draft.
Okay. Not a huge impact, maybe. Really?
Not this season. I think Bryce Love had a down season with the sort of disappearance of the run game this year. And KJ Costello, gunslinger that he is going to come out firing.
I don't mean to harp
his big targets.
I don't want to harp on injuries and all that, but definitely there was a stretch in there where he was not on the field for undisclosed reasons.
Yep.
Which I don't like that, but moving beyond it, it's probably best that if he thinks he's going to the draft, does not play, which is fine.
Yeah. At this point he's done everything for Stanford. I don't feel like he owes anything to anybody at this point. No, absolutely not. He's got nothing left to prove.
Well, I just don't think it leaves the team like with a bad taste either. It's like, hey, buddies, I'm not going to play. It's like, okay, don't worry about it.
Yeah, it's not like who was it? The West Virginia quarterback, Will Greer.
Okay.
Who decided that he wasn't playing in their bowl game, and I think the line on that game after his announcement slid by like 6 points.
Oof.
And they wound up getting beat by 16 by Syracuse.
Hey, go Syracuse.
Yeah, so that is a good example of a player sitting having a huge impact on his team's bowl game.
Right. And the teams make money on these games, so they're kind of important in terms of funding these programs and everything that they cost. I don't know that college players need to be worried about that.
Sure, and the team gets the money just for being there. So,
oh, that's a good point. So, I think it's okay to walk away from these types of things. And it should be a good game, I think.
Yeah, I think it will be. Pitt has lived and died this season by the run game. I think they had 2,000-yard rushers this season.
Wow.
So they have no passing game to speak of.
Okay.
I think in that loss to Clemson, they had something ridiculous like 8 passing yards.
8 passing
on 4 completions.
That is actually somewhat concerning for providing a lopsided game, because if Stanford shows up and blocks the run like they often can do,
yep,
unless that other team has watched enough footage to know they should just throw screen passes, it could end up as not a very exciting game for Pitt fans.
I think that's going to be the game plan: is shut down the run game, dare them to pass over the top, see if they are daring or stupid enough to try and go at Paulson Adebo.
Mm-hmm.
And the Stanford secondary can hold its own. The linebacking core is healthy again, so I think you stack the box a bit and dare them to throw over the top.
Wow. All right. Nice preview. I like it. We'll see what happens. Bouncing back to the NFL for a second.
Oh, yeah.
Vance Joseph got fired this morning.
I had not seen that yet.
Yep. So the Broncos need a head coach. I was looking at the ESPN lines for the Stanford game, and it went to the top of the side news over there because I was signed in, and it gives me all the Broncos news. Yeah.
Yep.
Oh well, back-to-back losing seasons since the early 70s.
First time.
Oof. Ugh. Oh well, it's gonna be a good game.
Yeah.
All right. Well, that's the 2019 preview episode. Again, follow us. Head over to YouTube if you prefer to follow us there. Or maybe soon want to see some video there. We'll see. And, tell your friends, We're going to do some fun stuff this year. I can guarantee it. It'll be a busy We Were Gamers 2019.
And join us next week when JJ is back.